The new NFL season brought some rule changes, and one of them is grabbing a lot of attention: the new guidelines for kickoffs. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh has finally broken his silence and shared his thoughts on how these changes are affecting the game. What does he think? Is he happy or disappointed with what he's seen so far? If you're curious to learn more about Harbaugh's perspective and how it could impact the Ravens team, stick with me. Let's explore his words and understand what this means for the team's future and the kickoff plays. Go Ravens! When the NFL introduced the new kickoff rule, there was an expectation that we would see more returns, making the game more exciting. However, Ravens coach John Harbaugh is not seeing this happen as expected. The numbers show that 65.6% of kickoffs are still resulting in touchbacks, meaning most balls are not being returned. The decrease from last year was small, and Harbaugh feels that the impact has been less than planned. Harbaugh expressed his frustration with the situation, saying, "It's just disappointing because the idea was to have more returns, and that's really not happening." He expected a bigger change, especially in the number of dynamic plays involving ball returns. The purpose of the new rule was to put the ball in play more often, but what we're seeing is that most kicks are still going directly out of bounds, without creating real return opportunities. Part of this problem, according to Harbaugh, comes from the Ravens themselves. Justin Tucker, the kicker, sends most of the kicks for touchbacks, limiting the chances for returns. "We're contributing to this too, because we kick a lot of touchbacks," Harbaugh stated. This raises the question of how the Ravens specifically are influencing this situation with their own kicks, leading us to the next point. Justin Tucker is undoubtedly one of the best kickers in the NFL, and this makes a big difference for the Ravens. However, his ability to send the ball directly into the touchback ends up impacting the number of returns we see in the game. With Tucker, 78% of the Ravens' kicks result in touchbacks, meaning the ball rarely stays in play. This, in a way, goes against what the new kickoff rule is trying to achieve, as it was designed to generate more returns. Harbaugh acknowledges this situation and knows the team is contributing to the number of touchbacks, but he also understands that this is a natural consequence of having such an efficient kicker. "We need to find a balance between using Tucker's skills and trying to follow the league's goal of creating more return plays," Harbaugh explained. This issue places the Ravens in a unique position where their own strengths may be limiting the excitement that the new rule aimed to bring. But Harbaugh believes there's still room for improvement, especially in kick returns. Even with Tucker dominating the kickoffs, he wants to see more action on the field. "We need to work harder on this and be better on returns," he emphasized. Speaking of action, the Ravens managed to get a bit more movement in their recent games, and that's exactly what we'll discuss next. Despite most of Tucker's kicks ending in touchbacks, the Ravens team finally managed to see a bit more action in their recent games. During the match against the Washington Commanders, Justice Hill and Deontay Hardy combined for 104 yards on 4 returns. While this is still a low number compared to what was expected with the new rule, it's already a step forward for the team, which had only 6 returns in the first 5 games of the season. Harbaugh was pleased to see the team starting to put returns into practice, even if on a small scale. "I appreciate the guys because I feel like we have 5, 6, or 7 players on our kickoff team who are rookies," he said. For him, the fact that they finally had some return plays is a step in the right direction. This gives the team the chance to adjust and improve their return play performance, something he believes is crucial for the overall development of the team. With the ongoing development of the rookies and the focus on improving return plays, Harbaugh believes the Ravens can become much more efficient in these special plays. But there's an important detail. The Ravens team is very young, especially in the kickoff units, which may explain the gradual evolution, and that's what we'll explore in the next point. One reason the Ravens are still struggling to improve their kick returns is that they have a very young team. Harbaugh mentioned that, at various times, up to 7 players on the kickoff teams are rookies. This lack of experience means that the players are still learning the rhythms and techniques needed to master these plays. Even so, Harbaugh praised the effort of the rookies and believes that, over time, they will improve significantly. "We are learning and working with these young players. They're doing a great job with the returns and need to keep it up," Harbaugh stated. These younger players are taking on a significant responsibility on the special teams, which may seem challenging at first, but it's an opportunity for long-term growth. Harbaugh sees the potential in these athletes and is confident that as they gain more experience, the team's performance will continue to rise. With the ongoing development of the rookies and the focus on improving return plays, Harbaugh believes the Ravens can become much more efficient in these special plays. But what does the league have in store for the future of these plays, considering that the current changes still haven't had the expected impact? Let's talk about that now. With the results falling short of expectations, the NFL is already considering new adjustments to the kickoff rule. The league initially thought about making touchbacks go to the 35-yard line, but they opted for the 30-yard line instead. However, with the number of returns still low, the NFL is now considering changing that mark to the 35 or even the 40-yard line in hopes of incentivizing more return plays. John Harbaugh expressed his support for this idea, believing it could indeed increase return opportunities. If they decide to move the touchback line to the 35 or 40 yards, I would be totally in favor, said Harbaugh. If this change is implemented, it could significantly alter team strategies. This would create more pressure for players to return the ball instead of accepting the touchback, making the game more dynamic. For Harbaugh, this would be a positive development, especially for teams like the Ravens that are still developing in their return plays. Now, it remains to be seen how the league will proceed and whether these new changes will actually be adopted. Regardless, Harbaugh and the Ravens are ready to adapt and make the most of any alterations that may arise. As the Ravens navigate the challenges of adjusting to the new kickoff rule and enhancing their special teams, the role of fan support becomes increasingly vital. The energy and enthusiasm from fans can significantly impact player morale, especially for those young players learning the ropes. Harbaugh acknowledged this connection, saying, "Having a passionate crowd behind us can really elevate the performance of our special teams. When the home crowd is cheering, it can create an electric atmosphere that motivates players to push harder and take risks." Moreover, the Ravens fan base has a reputation for being one of the most supportive in the NFL, which can serve as a significant advantage during home games. The players feed off this energy, and it can make a tangible difference in crucial moments, such as during kickoff returns. The louder the crowd, the more challenging it becomes for opposing teams to execute their game plans effectively. As the season progresses, Harbaugh is optimistic that increased fan engagement will not only help the Ravens improve their special teams performance, but also create memorable moments for the team and its supporters. This highlights the essential partnership between the Ravens and their fans, which could be a game changer as they look to maximize every opportunity on the field. And there you have it, fan. Now that we know what John Harbaugh thinks about the changes to the NFL rules, it's clear that he's looking to improve the kickoff plays and wants to see more excitement on the field. The necessary adaptations for the Ravens to take advantage of these new rules could make all the difference this season. What do you think about these changes? Do you believe they will really bring more action to the games? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's keep this conversation going and cheer for our team to make the most of the opportunities ahead.